Hi. Okay. I don't know if this mic is on, if it's working. Going live thing is a bit okay. Right. Okay. So I hope my mic is on loud enough. This first time doing this, so a little bit here and there. But anyway, let's get started. So I'm going to give you all I'm giving you an update on my journey. So what's been happening since 2024. So I started, like I said, if you've been following me before, first of all, let's start from the beginning. Welcome everybody. And if you are not watching live, but you're watching on pre-record, welcome. Great to have you back on my channel. This is going to be the last video I do for 2024 because it's getting busy now, and it's also getting up to Christmas and things. You know, it starts to get busy. Everything goes mad and crazy as well. So anyway, this is me on script, and so 2024, I decided to jump back on Amazon again, start it all over again. So I initially started Amazon towards the end of 2018, and I did really well. I started off as arbitrage, like I said before, and then I moved on to a product. The product did really, really well. And I did Amazon up until towards, I did it for like, yeah, did it towards up until 2020. So 2020 was when things started to go a little bit pear-shaped with Brexit and also with COVID as well. So at that point, I stopped doing Amazon, which was quite a shame because it was going really, really well, was successful. And in my book that I wrote, I did mention that one of the things that I wish I had done was join an accountability group. So if you are a parentpreneur, solopreneur, entrepreneur, this it can be quite lonely doing this gig, and it's always good to have an accountability partner or be in a group of other people that are in your niche, in your area, doing the same thing that you're doing, to sort of like bounce off each other. So I ended up stopping Amazon then. I stopped it for a long time, and then 2024 I was like, let's see, let's jump on it again and see what it's like. So I've been using this channel for the last year to talk about my Amazon journey, and I've been talking about some of the things that I've been doing. So I'm just looking at my notes. So my first thing was to so my priorities for 2024 was to be consistent in YouTube and to start Amazon, and also to promote and talk about all the things that I found really useful on AMZ Scout, which I've been doing, and I've been loving AMZ Scout as well. It's really helpful. You can check out my previous videos on AMZ Scout for how to find tools, how to use the tool to find products, and they've got a new AI feature which is really great for quickly doing up your list building. That's a quick plug there. So Amazon, I joined a course, got an accountability partner. I got given a product, so I didn't do any product research. And then I did all the normal stuff, collect the negative reviews, source the batches, do all the various variations. And I talked about, what happened with the product. So I did 4 variations, and one of the variations sold really, really well, did a really good job. And unfortunately, the price it was selling at wasn't a price for me to go ahead with a profit. So I decided to not go ahead with a larger order. So I decided to sell the rest on eBay. So the rest of the ones that didn't sell on Amazon, I sold them off on eBay, which was good. So so what I wanted to do then was think about doing online arbitrage or retail arbitrage to build back up capital. That was my goal afterwards, because even though it was a test batch, I didn't invest that much in it. I think I invested in a test batch about £400. I want to say, I know the figures might be on this channel somewhere on the test batch, and I think I spent quite a bit on PPC as well. I can't remember how much, but if you do want to know how much I spent on PPC, do comment in the chat, and then I'll stick the figures there for you later. So I spent quite a bit on PPC. So altogether, I'm thinking I want to say maybe like with the course, PPC, Amazon fees, and buying the test batch, packaging, all of that sort of stuff. I want to say I think I spent about £2,000. I think altogether on everything. And like I said, the test batch didn't go too well, and I wanted to build up more capital by doing online arbitrage or retail arbitrage. So that was the next step. But earlier this year, I hurt my back, so I weren't going to be doing any retail arbitrage. That was just out of the question, and I didn't have the time to be doing online arbitrage as well. It was quite time consuming, given work, kids, football, house, or various other commitments I had going on at the same time. So I'm just gonna have a sip. So to conclude, I would say that I mean, I started this channel just looking at more wanting to do stuff around planning and organizing. If you look at my earlier videos, that was kind of like the main gist, the main thing I wanted to do with this YouTube channel. And I kind of want to go back to that actually. Actually, I do want to go back to that. I kind of decided to do Amazon for a year as an experiment just to test to see how it is, more because I wrote a book, and I wrote that book essentially just for anyone that is thinking about doing Amazon or starting on Amazon, so that you can go in with your eyes wide open, just understanding what it entails, what it means, and what it actually takes to actually do it, so you don't, make mistakes. Um, so is Amazon worth it? I'll say 5 years ago when I jumped on it, I was in a different position. Actually, nearly 6 years ago, I think. I am in a different position now compared to the me 5 years ago. I think if I was still in the same position or age as I was 5 years ago, I think, and had that, I think I would most probably definitely do it again. But now I'm a bit older, and my vision, my plan for my life is looking towards um, planning towards an early retirement. Just looking at retiring. Um, and so my goal is more to have like less liabilities and more invest in things that will, I know, are a bit more stable long term. So with Amazon, I mean, when I did it 5 years ago, I spent quite a lot of money. I think I spent like up to like 7, 8 grand or so doing Amazon back then. And if I had if I had that, well, not if I had, but with that type of money now, I would rather invest that money, buy like shares rather than start an Amazon business. Only because, given my lifestyle at the minute, it's really busy. Amazon has, for me, it has too many moving parts. So there's lots of things to consider. So when you find your product, you've got to be aware of your product's life cycle. So your product might be doing really well now and it's hitting the getting the sales. Then your product really does need to be unique. You really do need to take time to differentiate it, or at least establish yourself as a brand so that people will pick from you. So with my first product, I was first to market to do what I actually did. So I decided to do a bundling as a way of differentiating my product. And I was first to market with that idea. So I did extremely well, and sold and made quite a lot of money. But then it didn't take long before people started to copy me and sort of like do the same thing, the within the Amazon space. So within that thing, what you'd have to do, you'd have to like have already established yourself as a brand so that people will buy from you rather than buy from the newer brands, or you'd have to find a new product quickly and start again. So, and I quite weren't, I'm not, weren't quite not ready to sort of start again, to do a launch, to do all of that. It does take quite a bit of effort and energy. So I think if you have got, the energy, the time and the resources available, and you've got a good course, and you've got a good amount of capital to use to do Amazon, I think it is still a good thing to go ahead and go for. Like I said, you want to be going for products that are making minimum. I think, given now cost of living and everything now, minimum £5,000 a month in revenue. That's absolute minimum that you want to go for. Um, I think back then the product I did was slightly less, but that was 5 years ago. Things have changed now. So the market has really changed. And I think what I really needed to do was to sort of, it was almost like starting again, if I'm totally honest. So I just realized that for me right now, in the space and the things that I want to do, I'm looking for something that's got less moving parts, shall I say, because there's quite a lot of things to monitor and to review and to check when it comes to Amazon. So 2025, what am I doing? What is happening with YouTube? What's happening with me? What's happening with this channel? And ways forward. I'm going to more or less go back to what I originally started this channel for doing, which was looking at planning, organizing finances. That's what I've enjoyed doing. That's what I enjoy teaching. I can read and talk about that all day long. So, but what I found is those videos didn't do as well as my Amazon videos. So that's hence the reason why I started doing more and more Amazon videos, kind of like became a slave to the algorithm. But I'm going to be true to myself now for 2025. So I'm going to do a podcast. So I'm going to switch over to podcasting. And I think the audience that will be interested in starting a business or creating time to develop or grow their career. So I think that that audience, my audience there, tend to be more on a podcast than they are on YouTube. I think even for me as a working parent, I'm on YouTube to relax, to chill, to watch videos, or I'm on YouTube to find out how to quickly do something. If I'm going to follow someone or learn while I'm moving around, working, driving, taking the kids to football, or cooking or commuting, I think I prefer podcast. So I'm going to move to doing what I started looking at planning and organizing all of that. I'm going to do that on the podcast now. So the podcast, I've not got a name for it yet, but my website is anxiousfornothing.life. So you can go and find me there. You can subscribe as well. And once I get the podcast up and running, you'll get details of the podcast and where you can find me and what you can listen to. So that the strategies. So it's more or less the things that I've been doing that have enabled me to fast track, grow my career, as well as start a business, as well as create time to start a business. All the things that come around with having a business at the same time as working full time, managing the house with the family, with the community, and with the kids, keeping on top of all the things for the children. So, for example, one of the things I've just gone through now is 11 plus. So, for those that are not in the UK, 11 plus is an exam that is sat for children to go into grammar schools. Grammar schools are particularly seen as better than state schools. But you don't have to pay for them like private schools as well. You don't have to pay for them because they're not private schools. So you have to pass an exam to get into those sort of grammar schools. So my son was sitting and I was preparing and doing all that. So anyone that's done 11 plus here in the UK, you know what I just went through. So my son just sat that. So it's been really busy. So, and I think, so that's it. I don't know if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat if you're going to watch this on replay. But thank you so much for watching this. If you're watching on replay, thank you so much for following me, the journey just 24 on Amazon. And if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. What I will try to do, or what I will do, let's be positive. What I will do is look at how I can put the podcast on YouTube. So even though the podcast will be audio only, I'll I'll put it on YouTube as well, so that you can hear it as well while you're doing your thing. So this podcast is for working parents, full-time working parents. You are looking to kickstart your business that you've been wanting to do, and so that you can move away from your full-time job and have an online business that you can manage anywhere, have more time for the family. Or if you're looking to sort of like grow your career, you still enjoy your job, you enjoy your career, but you want to progress, move to the next level. That's something that I did. I've spent the last 5 years accelerating, growing my career. So I will give my tips on how to do that, what I've done, how to structure your time to do that. Sorry, how to create time to grow your business, and how to create time to grow your career. So, for example, if you need time to study, how to make that time available, how to prioritize, because often what happens is, your business idea gets pushed down to the bottom. It becomes like to the bottom of the list. How can we make it a priority, as well as all the other things that we need to get done? That's essential. And also self-care as well. That's really important. Looking at your mental space, your physical space, and your health. That's really important, because if your energy is not there, or you're feeling tired, it's going to be really hard to be motivated to do the things that you love doing. So thank you so much. I'm gonna end it there. I've been chatting for a while, but if you like more of this sort of chatting and things like this, do join me on my podcast. And my website is anxiousfornothing.life. I'll put the link at the bottom of this, and you can subscribe as well, and you'll get a free 5-step strategy on how to prioritize, manage, organize everything, so you can create time to actually start that business idea that you want to start, and actually grow your career. Have the time to do your coursework for your career growth, or sit the exams that you need to sit to do a career change as well. So thank you so much for your time. Have an amazing day. And, remember, you'll be anxious for nothing. There's nothing to worry about. God's got you, and remain blessed. Take care. Bye-bye.